What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the OG GM, coming to you live, large, and mostly awake on this Wednesday morning, April 19th, 8:43 in the morning on a lovely sunny spring day here at Site B, a small island off the coast of Costa Rica, maybe. And it's my favorite time of week. It's time to take a look at all the physical product that should be, question mark, on the shelves of your friendly local game store. That is, if you happen to have a friendly local game store and you're not like me, where you live within an hour drive of almost a dozen friendly local game stores, none of which actively support role-playing. But I'm not bitter. Anyways, let's take a look and see if there's anything that stands out to us. If I feel it's worth your dime. Sadly, yeah, this week, not much, but you never know. From Mongoose Publishing, we've got some stuff for Traveler. Specifically, this is called Sector Construction. It's $60 for a thing to help you design space sectors. I guess for those of you who aren't lucky enough to get a copy of Stars Without Number, you can get this. I guess it gets, looks like it's a box set, so I guess it comes with maps, books, maybe a spaceship. I don't know. They don't give a lot of information of what's in it. It just says it just tells you how to develop space sectors. I would highly recommend, if you could find a PDF copy of Stars Without Number, get that instead. If you ever want to know about Traveler, you could always head on over to Shoner website. He occasionally talks about Traveler. Definitely an expert on that topic. So yeah, if you have never head on over to Shoner Films and check out his videos on Traveler. Figures! Who doesn't love toys? This comes to us from Steam Forged Games. Here's a bunch of toys, figures. One is called, the whole thing seems to be called Adventurers in Academia First Class. That's too long of a name. And we've got Cunning and Divine and Arcane and Mighty. Each one comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 figures that you just have to paint. Various weirdness because, it's stuff. So $30 gets you box number 1 has a Dragonborn, Paladin, Catfolk Rogue, Fearborg Bard, a half-elf, and an awakened Squirrel Ranger, a Tiefling Cleric, and a half-orc Druid. Box 2 gets you an Alkin Wizard, a Human Sorcerer, a Dwarf Warlock, a Lionfolk Barbarian, a Tortle Monk, and an Elf Fighter. They also come with character record sheets and an adventure. So, yes, if your world is filled with all sorts of weird things like a Turtle Monk and Alkin Sorcerers, half-elf. Oh, we don't call them half-elf, so what do we call them now? Elves with different parents? Yeah, so $30 for figures of just sort of assorted weirdness. If you remember, about a year ago, I tried painting some figures from this company, and I was not very impressed with them. So hopefully their quality has improved. Yeah. Speaking of toys, Whiz Kids has released another set of box set miniatures. For $30, you get an encounter and all the miniatures you need to run the encounter. The first is called Prison Break. So it features a map of a prison, some prison props like cell doors, and then some types of individuals you might encounter in the prison. And the other one seems to be a ambush. So it comes with a horse and a wagon and some maps and some brigands. And it's a scenario with a map. So cool. $30. Yeah. Ooh, here's a flashback. Here's a flashback to the early days of the 3.5 OGL and all the splat books that came out, both from Wizards and other companies. And they all sort of look like this. So this is Book of Magic Volume 1 and Book of Magic Volume 2 from John Brazier Enterprise is for Pathfinder. $25. $25. Wow. My brain is still not 100% recovered from yesterday. Friends, if you have to give blood as often as I do, or even if you have to get blood drawn once a year like most people do to get your cholesterol checked, do yourself a favor and make sure you find a good phlebotomist, a good nurse who knows how to draw blood, because it makes a huge difference. I can tell you, as somebody who gets blood drawn and usually has to give anywhere from 2 to 9 vials of blood to keep track of my anemia and all my other physical issues and my cholesterol and just general stuff and iron and yeah. The most I've ever had drawn is 9. There's a huge difference between a good phlebotomist and a bad phlebotomist. And the difference is, as you can tell just from me, there's been times when I've gone and getting blood drawn and had a really good phlebotomist, no after effects, no pain, nothing. After I get something in my stomach, I'm raring to go, no effect whatsoever. Then there's ones like yesterday's phlebotomist who only took 5 vials. My arm still hurts, and I can still feel the effects of the 5 vials of blood. My brain is still fuzzy. I didn't really sleep very well. So yeah, friends, it's my PSA of the day. If you have to get blood drawn, do yourself a favor and try and find a good, consistent phlebotomist, because it can make all the difference in the world. Anyways, back to my normal crap. From Bedrock Games, we have something called Sons of Lady 87. This is for the Wandering Heroes of Ogregate role-playing game. This is a $50 supplement that explores the criminal life of the Empire City of the Ogregate campaign setting. So I guess this is a Oriental-themed campaign setting with martial arts and stuff like that. And this is about the criminal underworld of the Wandering Heroes of Ogregate campaign setting. Oh, Magic 8 Ball, what can you tell us about the Wandering Heroes of Ogregate? $9. And gravity-defying martial arts inspired by ancient Chinese. Yeah, okay, so yeah, martial arts campaign, mythical China kind of thing. Moving on, from Catalyst Games Labs, for $50, we have Whispering Nets. This is a Shadowrun supplement. It covers net running, shadow running, whatever people do in the world of Shadowrun Seattle 6th edition post-war, whatever the current storyline is called. So if you're a fan of Shadowrun and want to get an update of what everything's going on and new rules for net running and crimes and all that other edge runner stuff that makes Shadowrun so edgy, $50 will get you brand new stuff. From Man and Project Studio, who just recently got, why do I keep doing this? Recently signed a contract with Modiphius to have Modiphius start reviewing and publishing their stuff. We have 7 Sinners for $20. This is for the OSR and 5e, so it's a collection of cults, demons, relics, culturers, terrifying stuff. Basically, 7 sins. Or you could, check out 7 Bastards and Wretched Bastards from Red Room Publishing, Miguel and Sylvia, which is pretty much the exact same thing. So yeah, these guys copied Miguel and Sylvia. From Weird Games, for Through the Breach, there's a name we haven't heard in a while. We have From Shadows, a very bad picture of From Shadows. So it's a $40 supplement set in the world of Through the Breach, which is a very weird fantasy game based upon the Through the Breach and Weird Games figure line. So think of it as steampunk. If you're familiar with Malfux, the figure miniature game, this is the one of the campaign role-playing settings based upon the Malfux campaign. The art for Malfux, I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry. It sounds like a bad word. The art for Through the Breach and the character designs is really weird and cool and quirky and creepy and just very bizarre. I tried playing the game once when it first came out. We couldn't make heads of hair. Couldn't translate the rules, but the figures were cool if you knew how to put them together. So if you're looking for a really weird steampunk, alternate, arcane punk, bizarre, quasi-horror mess of role-playing, for $40, you can get a supplement to a very rarely seen game. From MS Edition, we have Knights of the Round Academy and Knights of the Round Academy dice set. This is a hardcover rule book, $50 for the book, $25 for the dice. It's a heavily narrative role-playing game inspired by shonen animes, 90s super and real robot anime, and Japanese school comedies. PCs are students where they go to a school where there also happens to be a giant robot that fights evil, and I guess they all combine to pilot the robot. You know, maybe the whole school becomes a robot, if you ever saw that anime. So yeah, $50 for giant robot anime. From Renegade Game Studios for Hunter the Reckoning, we have a token set for $20. You get a bunch of tokens with pictures on them to use to track the various things that could happen to your character in Hunter the Reckoning, like danger or despair or hit points. So $20 for colored poker chips tokens. Now, I don't know how much poker chips cost right now, so this could be a good deal. $20 gets you 15 tokens. Is that a good deal? I don't know how much just going to the store and buying a thing of poker chips costs right now. So I guess that's maybe a good deal. I don't know. Poker chips with art on them. And let's see, there's some others. Don't think that's it. First, we have that there is a new Werewolf The Apocalypse coming out from World of Darkness. The 5th edition is finally here. We can expect it to be released sometime between today and the summer. It's coming from Renegade Game Studios, who also does the Kids on the Bike campaign and the Hasbro non-D&D stuff. And it's set in the world of Werewolf The Apocalypse. And also, badam! For a limited time, the Arbys D&D dice are back. They're probably already sold out. But if you go have an Arbys somewhere where you live, they're doing the dice again. They did this last year. The dice were available for like 10 seconds, and then they were gone. And a lot of the stores said, oh, they never got the dice. Well, now about a year later, Arbys is trying this again. Do Arby dice have a hamburger inside them? Do they smell like burgers? I don't know. They're dice. And I think just the biggest thing about them is that they're Arbys. So you go to Arbys, you get a, slider, and you get a dice. But call ahead because they're probably already out of stock. Yeah, that's not really game store news, but it is news. And there's a new beginner box for Pathfinder 2E coming out. We should start seeing that floating around probably this week. And then during the weekend of April 22nd through the 30th, Paizo is going to be trying to encourage friendly local game stores to sell the beginner box and push Pathfinder. That is, if you have a friendly local game store that actually supports Pathfinder or Dungeons and Dragons or Call of Cthulhu or any role-playing game whatsoever. I'm not bitter. And that appears to be it for all the solid product. If anything that I just mentioned is something you think you want to spend money on this week, call your friendly local game store, make sure they have it in stock, and then head on down to pick it up because, I don't know, the shipping thing is still a thing, and that's never going away. So, and if you've spoken to any retailer recently, it is getting harder and harder to get stuff in store, and that goes for any retail. I was in the market yesterday, and the shelves were empty, like second week of COVID empty. So, yeah, call ahead and make sure they have it in stock, and let them know the OGGM sent you. You know what they'll say in return? They'll say, hey, if you support the OGGM, you should probably subscribe to his YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Help the OGGM reach 2,000 subs by the end of 2023, and he'll probably do something ridiculous and self-destructive like eating really hot potato chips or something. And you know what else you could do? Instead of giving money to your friendly local game store, why don't you give the money directly to the OGGM? And the best way to do that is to buy his merch on Big Geek Emporium. Link it down below. He's got 11 products up there. Or if you want to make sure you receive the latest OGGM awesomeness, subscribe to his Patreon for $4.99 a month, and you're guaranteed to receive everything he does that month, including possibly Patreon exclusive content. as soon as he figures out how to do that. And why am I talking in the third person? I don't know. It seemed cool at the time. But what do I know? I'm just a guy with a box and an insane cat on an island trying to talk to you because it's fun. It's also exhausting. That's it for today's tabletop role-playing game news. If you appreciate this content, let me know. Till next time, have a great day. Stay warm, stay safe, stay dry, stay hydrated, and stay the F off my land.